Hi, this is Joby Provido, and you're listening to Contemplating the Rosary, where we talk about how to pray the Holy Rosary even better. In 104 episodes, over 4 seasons, we will explore a method of how to say the Rosary the way Pope St. John Paul II, Pope Paul VI, and other Rosary advocates recommend, and that's by contemplating the mysteries while we say the Our Father, Hail Mary, and Glory Be. This podcast is based on the book Beyond the Veil, Contemplating the Mysteries of the Holy Rosary, available at Lazada in the Philippines and in print or Kindle on Amazon, wherever you are. Visit kindlingspress.com for more information and where you can read and download the episode guide. Okay, we're diving into episode 1. This might be an odd way to open a podcast, but let me begin with a question. Have you ever started praying the Rosary and then after a few minutes you start thinking of work or what's for lunch or maybe the movie on Netflix you watched last night? Complete zone out, right? But despite that, you finished praying anyway. It's like you said the Rosary on autopilot. Raise your hand if that's happened to you. I know you can't see me, but I am raising my hand, and I think a lot of you listening are also raising their hands. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. It just happens. The reason that happens is that our lips have said the vocal prayers, the Our Father, the Hail Mary, and the Glory Be thousands of times. And we don't really think about what we're doing when we say these prayers. And that's how we can sometimes say the Rosary on autopilot. But if you think about it, saying prayers on autopilot isn't something we want to do. Because the prayers become machine-like, it's just going through the motions like a robot. There's no joie de vivre, the joy of life. It's like, okay, I need to say my Rosary today, so I take out the beads, say the prayers quickly, Rosary done, task box check for the day. Back to scrolling on my smartphone. It's like eating a meal and not tasting the food. Oh, and that reminds me, I remember during the pandemic, I have a friend who's a foodie. I think you know the type, loves tasting different cuisine, very excited about new restaurants, watching MasterChef, that sort of person. And then, he got COVID. And for a foodie, he got the worst symptom of all. He couldn't taste anything. It went on for 3 weeks and he was just so depressed. He told me, Joby, I wouldn't want to live if I can't taste food. And I get it. We get it, right? If we stuff food into our mouths just to survive, where's the joy in that? That's just sad. Well, I bring this up because it's like saying prayers robotically, just so that we can tick them off. Task done for the day, and where's the meaning in that? But what if I told you we can fix that? What if I said we can be more focused on the mysteries? And in that way, we can pray the Rosary better. It's a method where we contemplate the mysteries of the Rosary while saying the vocal prayers. Praying the Rosary this way is so different. It will make it so alive. The joyful mysteries will be really joyful. The luminous mysteries will be brighter than ever. The sorrowful mysteries will make you cry. And the glorious mysteries will give you hope. After praying the Rosary this way, I think you won't want to pray it any other way. I still remember the first time I tried out this technique. I was just taking it for a test drive. It was a Friday night. And I was praying the first sorrowful mystery, the agony in the garden. I got so absorbed, I broke down in tears, like sobbing, and I had to stop a while before going on. That's when I knew this was an effective way of praying. It wasn't just saying words. My mind was there in Gethsemane, witnessing our Lord in distress. I'm not saying that we should always expect emotions or that if we don't get these feelings, then we aren't praying correctly. No, that's not what prayer is about. Prayer is about giving attention to God. But sometimes we do get affections and it's like a big hug from our Lord. At least, that's my experience. You may have a different experience and I would love to hear your experiences also. So share with me your experiences in the comments section. Now going back, I already know what you might be asking. You're thinking, is that even a good thing, thinking about the mysteries while saying the words? I thought we should be concentrating on the words. Those are absolutely good questions. Those were my questions when I first heard about this way of praying. And I had to check if this method is a valid way of praying. I went into some serious digging and this is what I found out. In 2002, Pope St. John Paul II dropped his encyclical Rosarium Virgini Mariae, or in English, the Rosary of the Virgin Mary. In that document, he emphasizes the importance of contemplating the mysteries. He uses the word contemplate 67 times. You don't repeat something that many times if it isn't important. And then, I also found out that in 1974, Pope Paul VI had a similar encyclical. It was named Marialis Cultus, or in English, the Cult of Mary. I know it can sound scammy, especially how we use the word cult today. You hear the word cult and immediately we think the members are brainwashed by some charismatic megalomaniac. But that wasn't always the case. The word cult originally meant a way of venerating someone or something. So it doesn't necessarily have to have a bad meaning, at least in this encyclical. So going back to that document, Pope Paul VI said, and let me quote, "Without contemplation, the rosary is a body without a soul, and its recitation runs the risk of becoming a mechanical repetition of formulas." End quote. As I dug some more, I found out that not only popes recommend this way of praying the rosary, also the spiritual heavyweights do, like Archbishop Fulton Sheen, Pope Benedict XVI, and also social media superstar Bishop Robert Barron. They all suggest we contemplate on the mysteries. All of that digging on this topic inspired me to write about this method. It came out as a book in 2022 named Beyond the Veil, Contemplating the Mysteries of the Holy Rosary. I think I did something right with that book because in 2023, it became a weekly segment in Radio Veritas. And that was very reassuring because that is the radio station of the local church. So it was like some validation for me. Then it made sense to reformat this into a podcast, but I wanted it more streamlined and update the content. And so that is what I will be sharing with you in this podcast. We will learn the techniques on how to focus on the mysteries. By using our imagination, we will put ourselves in those scenes. If you follow along with this podcast, we will learn several steps in how to make the mysteries of the Rosary present to us. To make us feel we are there in the mystery, with the characters, witnessing what is happening as it unfolds. It will be like you are in the room when the angel Gabriel appears to Mary. It will be like sitting in the same table with the apostles in Cana, overhearing their conversations, until Mary whispers to her son, "They're running out of wine." It will be like you are in the dark barracks of the Praetorium, seeing our Lord's skin in tatters and the soldiers force a crown of thorns on his head. It will be like being inside a tomb when our Lord comes back to life and the shroud slides off his body, now all glorious. And don't worry if your imagination runs out. That's where this podcast helps. We will point out different things in the different mysteries, things that you can use as fertilizer for your imagination when you pray on your own. We'll complete all 20 mysteries in one season, and in 1 year we'll have 4 seasons, each with different content. So all in all, we will have 104 episodes that are about 5 to 10 minutes long. And a new episode will drop every Wednesday and Saturday in 2024. I'm super thrilled to share these things with you, and I hope that got you excited. I think this is a good place to end our first episode, right? So let me finish with a short quote from Venerable Archbishop Fulton Sheen. He said, "In the Rosary, we not only say the prayers, we think them." End quote. I think that sums up what we'll be learning in this podcast. Vocal prayers, yes. Our Father, Hail Mary, glory be, yes. But let's add to these words a recollection of Christ, as if we were going through a picture album of our Lord's life. That little bit will make a lot of difference. I swear, you look forward to saying the Rosary. Before I go, let me tell you what we'll be doing next. In the upcoming 3 episodes, we'll briefly explore prayer, contemplation, and how to move through the different scenes. This is where we'll learn the contemplative way of praying the Rosary. Then after that, we'll jump right in and explore the first joyful mystery, the Annunciation. This is an episode I'm so excited to talk about. I'm actually impatient to stream this. And I'll tell you why. Just as a teaser, read the first 3 sentences of the Annunciation in the Gospel of Luke. Most times, people in the Bible are scared beyond words when an angel appears to them. But notice, Mary was not troubled by the vision of the angel, but by what the angel said. Now, what could have the angel said to get Mary concerned? It must have been so important for Luke to put it in his gospel. Now that is interesting, isn't it? We'll explore this in other mysteries, and I can't wait to unbox this with you. So don't miss this, okay? Finally, just to remind you, this podcast is brought to you by thecatholictalks.com. and kindlingspress.com, where you can read more articles on the Catholic faith and find more books on Catholicism. This has been Joby Provido. I will say goodbye for now, but please join me again next time when we can learn to pray the Rosary better. Bye-bye.